Welcome back to part 2. If you missed the first video, we covered the basics of picking things out and paying. But as we all know, shopping doesn't end at the register. Hi, I'm Christine. My goal is to help you build a solid foundation so you can understand the English language and communicate effectively and confidently. Let's get into it. So today we're looking at returns, discounts, and clothing. Alright, here comes our first phrasal verb. Sometimes you aren't ready to buy yet. You just want to look around. This means you're exploring or seeing what's available without a specific plan. Let's look around before buying anything. If a clerk asks, "Can I help you find something?" you say, "No thanks, I'm just looking around." It lets them know you want to be left alone to explore. This is what I always say because I'm often annoyed when salespeople keep following me everywhere. Then we have take back. This is what we use for returning something you bought. I didn't like the shoes, so I took them back. Another example, I realized these speakers don't work with my TV, so I need to take them back tomorrow. Next phrase is try out. Now in part 1, we talked about try on, which means to put on a clothing item to see if it suits or fits you. But try out is for testing how something works. You can try out this blender at the store. So you try on a t-shirt to see how it looks on your body, but you try out a vacuum cleaner or a laptop to see if it actually functions well. If something is too expensive, it might set you back. This is an informal way to talk about the cost. That new coat really set me back. Usually, we use this for things that are a bit pricey. So if someone hears you say this, they understand that you spent more than usual. If someone asks, "How much did that phone set you back?" they're asking, "How much did you have to pay for that?" because they assume it was expensive. On the other hand, if you think the price is unfair and way too high, you'd call it a ripoff. $50 for a t-shirt? What a ripoff! This is a very strong expression. You use it when you feel like a store is cheating you or charging much more than an item is actually worth. It's not just expensive, it's unfairly expensive. The quality of the shirt does not match the high price. You can use it as a noun, like that is a ripoff, or as a verb, they are ripping me off. But we love it when they bring down the price. This means to reduce the cost or put something on sale. They brought down the price of the winter coats. We use bring down when the store decides to lower prices for everyone. If you see a big sign in the window saying 30% off, you could say the store has brought down the prices because they want to sell things faster. Like when winter is ending and they need to sell all the heavy coats. You might also hear take off. This is slightly similar to bring down, but it's usually a discount just for you, right while you're buying it. For example, they took $10 off the price of the bag. The price gets lowered by a certain amount of money right while you're buying it. For example, if you find a small defect on a product or if there's a special promotion, the cashier will take money off the total. They're removing that portion of the price right at the time of purchase for a specific reason. Okay, let's talk about fit. If your pants or shirts are too big, you can have a tailor take them in. The phrase is take something in. Here's our example. I'll have to take this dress in at the waist. It's too big. This makes the clothing smaller or tighter. Next is zip up and button up. These are just the ways we use to talk about closing our clothes. It's very literal. If it has a zipper, you zip it up. If it has buttons, you button it up. We usually say up because you're starting at the bottom and moving at the top. Example, it's freezing. Zip up your jacket. Can you help me button up the back of this dress? Next, wear in. Sometimes we buy shoes and they hurt at first. so you have to wear them in. This means you wear your new shoes around the house or for short walks until they stop being stiff and finally become comfortable. I remember when I was a kid, my mom would take my sister and me to the shoe store. If we tried a pair on and said they felt a little tight or uncomfortable, even if the size was right, my mom and the sales lady would always say, "Don't worry, you just need to wear them in, and eventually they'll feel perfect." Pop into or pop in. If you're in a hurry, you might pop into a shop. This is how we describe a very quick visit when you have a specific goal. You aren't there to walk around and look at everything. You have one thing on your mind. You grab it and you leave. It's that feeling of, "I'll be back in 2 minutes." Let's look at this example. I'm going to pop into pharmacy for a second. Stay in the car. I'll be right back. When you're worried something will run out or you just want to be prepared, you stock up on it. This is when you buy a lot of one specific thing so you don't have to go back to the store for a long time. You usually do this with things that last a while, like toilet paper, pasta, or bottled water. It's like building a little supply at home because you know you'll need it later. For example, there's a big storm coming this weekend, so we need to stock up on water and canned food. Wait, what if the store has nothing left? Then they have sold out. This is simply when the stock is completely gone. Think about the storm we mentioned. If everyone goes to the store at the same time to stock up, the shelves will be empty by the afternoon. When the store has 0 items left and can't sell you anymore, they are sold out. Let's see how it's used in a sentence. I went to 3 different shops looking for that viral water bottle, but every single one was sold out. You'll almost always hear people say it's sold out or they sold out. Then we have splash out. This is the fun one. It's when you decide to spend a lot of money on something special, usually as a treat for yourself. Think about the word splash. It's like you're throwing your money around because you're in a great mood. You aren't buying milk or bread. You're buying that designer bag you've been eyeing for months or booking a fancy hotel just because. You splash out when you want to celebrate or just feel a bit extra. Example, I finally got my bonus, so I splashed out on a really nice dinner and that leather jacket I wanted. Next, if splashing out is about spending money because you want to, forking out is about spending money because you have to. You use this when you are unhappy about the price. It's for those times you have to pay a lot of money for something boring, like a bill, a repair, or a fine. It feels like you are being forced to give your money away. I had to fork out $200 to fix my broken phone screen. Or we had to fork out a lot of money for a new water heater. To finish today's lesson, I have a challenge for you. In English, we say go shopping and we also say do the shopping. What do they mean and what's the difference? Comment your answers. And that is part 2. Between these 2 videos, you now have a massive list of phrasal verbs to use next time you're out. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time.